All right, today we're talking about a company that you've probably never heard of, but that is, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe the most important company in the world for everything. We're talking about the Dutch giant, ASML. So let me just ask you straight up, what is the most important company you've never heard of? I'm serious, because you know that phone in your pocket, your car, the massive servers that are powering this whole AI revolution? None of them would exist. Literally, they could not be built without this one single company. Okay, so just to give you a sense of scale here, at its peak, this company hit a market cap of around $345 billion. To put that in perspective, that makes ASML Europe's biggest tech company, period. Bigger than a lot of names you know and use every single day. So what on earth do they do? Well, to put it simply, they are the absolute linchpin of the entire global semiconductor industry. Every advanced microchip, and I mean every single one, from your iPhone to the monster GPUs in an AI data center, is made using their technology. Without them, the modern world basically just stops. To really get how they became so powerful, you have to understand the core problem of making a computer chip. And it all boils down to one thing: printing with light. Yeah, the official term is photolithography, but forget the jargon. Just think of it like this. It's like a crazy, super advanced projector. You're using light to etch these unbelievably complex patterns onto a slice of silicon. It's kind of like screen printing a t-shirt, but the t-shirt is a silicon wafer, the ink is light, and the pattern is a city with billions of buildings that are smaller than a virus. And for the last, 50 plus years, the whole game has been about one thing: shrink it down, make it smaller. That's really the engine behind Moore's Law, right? The idea that the number of transistors you can cram onto a chip doubles every couple of years. The smaller you can print, the more you can fit. And the more transistors you have, the more powerful, the faster, and the more efficient your chips get. It's the reason the supercomputer in your pocket can last all day on a tiny battery. So if you want to print smaller things, you need a finer pen, right? For decades, the industry used something called deep ultraviolet light, or DUV. Its wavelength was 193 nanometers. It worked great for a long time. But then ASML pulled off what was basically a magic trick. They figured out how to use extreme ultraviolet light, EUV, with a wavelength of just 13.5 nanometers. Now, to give you an idea of how small that is, that's about the width of 5 strands of DNA. It is a ridiculous, mind-bending leap in precision. And a leap like that, well, it doesn't just happen. It was the result of one of the single riskiest, most insane bets in the history of technology. A gamble on an idea that most experts thought was pure science fiction. I mean, their journey was just wild. They started out in 1984 in a leaky shed. Not a garage, a shed. For years, it was a real struggle. Then their IPO in '95 gave them the cash to start thinking big. But the real genius move, that came in 2012. To fund the final, insanely expensive push for EUV, they went to their biggest customers, Intel, TSMC, Samsung, and convinced them to invest more than €1 billion directly into the R&D. Think about that. They got their future buyers to pay for the development of the very machine they would later have absolutely no choice but to buy. It was just brilliant. And that just perfectly captures the sheer scale of this bet. You see, their competitors, big names like Nikon and Canon, they all gave up. They decided EUV was just too hard, way too expensive. But ASML, they bet the entire company on it. For almost 20 years, they just kept pouring billions and billions into making this impossible idea a reality. So what happens when a gamble that big actually pays off? Well, you get a monopoly, a complete and total monopoly, forged in light. The results speak for themselves. When it comes to the machines you need to make the world's most advanced chips, these EUV machines, ASML has 100% of the market. Not 99, 100%. If you want to make a next-generation chip, there is only one phone number on the planet you can call. And even if you zoom out and look at the entire lithography market, including all the older tech, their dominance is just staggering. They control something like 85%, leaving their old rivals to fight over the scraps. It's not even a competition anymore. And the machines themselves, they are true marvels. Their price tags are also pretty marvelous. The newest generation, the High-NA EUV system, costs over $400 million for one single machine. That's more than a brand new Boeing 787 Dreamliner. So, You spend 400 million bucks on one of these things. But what does it actually take to get it from their factory in the Netherlands to, say, a facility in Arizona or Taiwan? It's an absolutely monumental undertaking. Just to ship one machine, it has to be broken down into pieces that fill 20 semi-trucks. Those trucks then fill up 3 fully loaded Boeing 747 cargo jets. And once all that arrives, a team of their specialist engineers has to spend months on site putting it all back together and calibrating it. The complexity is just on another level. So this incredible story brings us right up to today. And what ASML has become is something much more than just a successful company. It's now a strategic choke point for the entire future of technology. Here's the simple reality. Every company's roadmap for the future, whether it's Apple's next iPhone or Google's next AI model or the next generation of supercomputers, every single one of those roadmaps runs directly through ASML's headquarters. The biggest names in the game, TSMC, Samsung, Intel, they are all 100% dependent on this one company. In this situation, it creates this really fascinating tension. On the one hand, the opportunity is just massive. They have a backlog of over 33 billion euros. They are literally building the engine for the AI revolution. But on the other hand, the risk is enormous. The entire tech industry has a single point of failure. And because of that, ASML has become a huge focus of geopolitics, with governments fighting over who can and can't buy their machines. And all of that leaves us with one final, really important question. When a single company holds the master key to all future technology, who then gets to hold the key to that company? It's a question with no easy answer, and how we deal with it is going to shape our world for decades to come.